This is a magical instant camera that can create a real object by taking a photo of whatever you want. What would you take a picture of? Xing Aofei gives this precious item to Shuang to enjoy, saying if she likes it, it's hers. This is the first gift Shuang receives with a delighted scream. She excitedly jumps onto Xing Aofei, and his only response is to call her a big soft candy. However, the next lottery prize is a greenish bead called the floating life pill. Suddenly, System Xiaoxi goes berserk, desperately trying to charge at the bead, but Xing Aofei pulls it away, smirking. You wouldn't want something so important badly, would you? Actually, Xiaoxi already steals the bead before being pulled away. Xiaoxi voluntarily exits the system space, turns to say goodbye to Xing Aofei, but is blocked by a Shiba Inu. In a playful moment, De Huang accidentally swallows the bead and flashes a wicked smile at Xiaoxi. The next second, De Huang's aura rapidly increases, its fur changes color, and a mark appears on its head. The cute Shiba Inu becomes even more fierce than a wolf. Xiaoxi explains that when an animal eats the floating life pill, it becomes a powerful demon, and within the blink of an eye, De Huang transforms. It leaps towards Xing Aofei, baring its teeth and speaking human language. Master, I'm full of energy now. After so many years as a dog, I must go out and stretch my legs. Before leaving, De Huang thoughtfully closes the door, and another wave of chaos begins. Xing Aofei fears De Huang will cause trouble, as it now has the strength to kill a tiger with one slap. Just then, they hear a girl's cry for help from deep within the park, and they see De Huang at the scene. Beside him lies a disheveled girl. The most bizarre thing is that the first thing the girl does upon waking up is to jump into Xing Aofei's arms and act spoiled. Everyone is confused. Xing Aofei asks if she has mistaken him for someone else, but she still clings to him, making him a bit shy. Half of a man's dream is already complete. The girl hesitates, not wanting to call him husband, but asking what he prefers to be called. The two go to a restaurant, where the girl eats 5 bowls of wide noodles without stopping. Her dining posture is very strange, as if she has never seen chopsticks and only used a knife and fork. Xing Aofei realizes she isn't an ordinary girl, and she replies that she comes from a beautiful manor with many servants and even a few ponies. Xing Aofei breaks out in a cold sweat, as in his memory, only the wealthy villa area nearby has a racecourse. Yuan cries, asking if Xing Aofei doesn't care about her at all. Coincidentally, the restaurant owner comes over at that moment, and Yuan seems more confident. She tells Xing Aofei he is her husband, and he must take responsibility for her. Xing Aofei is speechless. No, Uncle Nio, let me explain. Uncle Nio pats Xing Aofei on the shoulder. Xing, don't bother explaining. I understand. I'll have Aunt Nio take the girl to freshen up. As a man, you should be more considerate of your wife. Just as Xing Aofei is struggling with what to do, the girl sneaks a strange look at him before going to bathe. Soon, Aunt Nio comes back with a big smile, calling Xing. Come take a look at your wife. You two are a perfect match. Xing Aofei looks away, uninterested, and accidentally glares at her without paying attention. His eyes light up. Filled with wonder, he asks, Who is it? The girl says tearfully, Husband, I'm your Yuan. After cleaning herself, Yuan is completely transformed, but the only thing that doesn't change is how she addresses Aofei. Seeing Xing Aofei's eyes widen, a hint of shyness flashes in Yuan's gaze. Xing Aofei tugs at his pant leg, unable to hide his feelings of love. Yuan, walking too hastily, accidentally twists her ankle and falls on Aofei's face. Xing Aofei doesn't react at first, but perhaps it's this deep gaze that makes him instinctively think the girl in front of him is the one he has been waiting for. They find a bench to sit on, both immersed in the shyness of their blossoming romance. Xing Aofei carefully holds the girl's ankle, and at the moment of contact, their inner forces invisibly intertwine. Uncle Nio and Aunt Nio seem to see their younger selves. The girl weakly asks, Will it hurt a lot, husband? Xing Aofei, focused, reassures her. I'll be gentle, it's just a common sprain. It's a simple task for Xing Aofei, but this time, the treatment is much slower, and Yuan doesn't feel any pain. Yuan Yuan immediately understands that the boy in front of her is not only skilled in medicine but also very attentive to her. After the treatment, the inexperienced Xing Aofei's nose starts bleeding. Maybe this is the life Yuan Yuan has longed for. However, Xing Aofei's words shatter her dreams. There are police officers on duty ahead. You'll be able to go home soon. Yuan Yuan, with a crying tone, asks, Are you going to leave me alone? Fine. Aofei lies. I'll come find you after I finish my work. Yuan Yuan can't hold back her tears. Let's make a pinky promise. I'll definitely wait for you. Xing Aofei is hesitant, but to send Yuan Yuan away, he agrees to the pinky promise. Then, he explains everything to the police and finishes the paperwork. He strokes Yuan Yuan's head one last time and forces a smile. Silly girl, make sure to cooperate with Officer Yang and go home. Don't run away again. Xing Aofei knows if he continues to be with Yuan Yuan, it'll be harder to let her go. Though she seems to have amnesia, her behavior reveals her wealthy background. Even if he's reborn, he may not be worthy of her. As Xing Aofei walks further away, Yuan Yuan's tears can't be held back anymore. She quickly turns around and runs towards him, tightly hugging him from behind. Can you please not leave? I don't want to let you go. I want to be with you. Xing Aofei tells himself not to look back. No, Yuan Yuan, your family must be worried about you. After saying this, Xing Aofei leaves in a hurry. Yuan Yuan knows that Xing Aofei's silence is only to ensure her safe return home. Officer Yang asks Yuan Yuan, We'll go to the station and wait for news. Unexpectedly, Yuan Yuan's expression changes. Don't call me Yuan Yuan, you're not worthy, and stay away from me. Officer Yang is puzzled. Aren't you looking for your family? In Yuan Yuan's eyes, my home is at Villa number 3 in Longhu District. Hearing this address, Officer Yang seems to remember something terrifying. Yuan Yuan snorts. Good that you know. Then Yuan Yuan takes out a walkie-talkie from her chest. Xiao Yi, come pick me up. The next second, Yuan Yuan gets into a luxury car. Her assistant is curious. Miss, you never come to these common areas. What's going on today? Yuan Yuan looks out the window thoughtfully. Are you curious about my private affairs? The assistant panics and apologizes. Yuan Yuan sighs. Today, I met the true heir of the Northern Butterfly School. I tried it, and every moment with Xing Aofei flashes through my mind. What's amazing is that this guy has even mastered the Southern School's gold pinching technique to a high level. But he looks like a fool, and I seem so naive in his eyes. The first thing Xing Aofei does when he gets home is pack his bags. Because tomorrow is the first day of medical school, the next second, a glimpse of flesh color suddenly appears in his line of sight. Brother Xiaofei, Huaxia Medical University must be very big and beautiful, huh? Xing Aofei's mind goes blank, but his eyes are full of determination. Just then, the room door is knocked open by a red-haired girl who has a habit of sparring. Ever since the small conflict with Xing Aofei last time, she often comes to practice martial arts with him. Even eating an apple requires testing Xing Aofei's skills. Lily doesn't know if it's because he's going to college soon, but today the house is unusually lively. Xing Aofei, who can't even guess what's going on, is sweating coldly. A man comes to the door and throws out a 100 million offer, with a sincere face proposing marriage to him. Is there really someone who would accept a betrothal gift to marry into a family? The boy's first action every morning is to tackle the girl, but his first attempt gets caught by his mother. Meanwhile, a couple comes to the clinic to propose marriage. They see Xing Aofei acting so frivolously and assume they can just demand he marries into their family. Xing Aofei immediately disagrees. Who is your daughter? The woman retorts. You don't deserve to know who my daughter is, looking at your poor decoration. All you need to know is that this marriage is a great honor for your family. The man then throws down a black box, which contains 100 million in cash as a small part of the betrothal gift. Xing Aofei's inner resolve wavers. He's never seen this much money before. At this moment, his usually mild-mannered mother gets angry. Is your dirty money so impressive? Leave my house, we don't deal with commoners. The man darkens. Are you saying we're not good enough for your son? My daughter is interested in your son's abilities, not your money. Believe it or not, I can make your clinic disappear tomorrow. Xing Aofei glares at them. I don't care who you are, leave my house now. Sensing the tension, Shijin grabs Xing Aofei's arm. I'm sorry, Xifei is my boyfriend. Xing Aofei's mother is stunned. When did my son become so amazing? Shijin gives Xing Aofei a look, and he understands immediately. Without hesitation, Xing Aofei embraces Shijin. You guys should save your breath. The woman's blood pressure rises. Do you take us for fools? Don't force us to take action. Xing Aofei is looking for this reaction. The man pulls out a club, the woman puts on brass knuckles. You'll be begging for death soon. Xing Aofei smirks, and suddenly a large dog appears, scaring the couple away. After driving off the two clowns, Xing Aofei looks at Shijin in his arms. They exchange glances, their faces turning red, then shyly look away. Meanwhile, Fan Yuan, who is taking a bath, receives a call from the couple. She scoffs. I knew you two would mess this up. Hurry back, don't embarrass me. Then Yuan leans against the bathtub, her eyes slightly open. I'll handle this myself. The next day is registration day at Huaxia Medical University. Xing Aofei's parents have packed up everything for him, even wanting to move their entire house to the dormitory. Last time, Xing Aofei started pursuing fame, money, and women when he went to college. This time, a red luxury car appears, shattering Xing Aofei's grand declarations. Shijin waves her hand. The boyfriend is already so angry early in the morning, and Xing Aofei notices people looking at him strangely. He turns to his girlfriend and says, Miss, can't you be a bit more low-key? Meanwhile, the student union president, Xi Minqing, is sizing up the new female students with a glance, accurately judging their measurements. Until he sees the girl next to Xing Aofei, he realizes she's the SSS-ranked beauty he's been searching for since birth. Jiazhen follows Xi Minqing's gaze and recognizes Xing Aofei as the guy who beat him up at a party before. He tries to stop Xi Minqing, but it's too late. Xi Minqing skillfully performs a dance routine, but it lasts only 3 seconds before Xing Aofei interrupts him. Thanks for helping with the luggage, senior. Everyone at the medical university is so friendly. Xi Minqing inquires. What's your major, junior sister? Shijin explains. I'm not from this school. I'm just here to send him off. Seeing an opportunity, Xi Minqing blocks their path. How about I treat you to lunch then? Shijin points to Xing Aofei. I plan to have lunch with him. Xi Minqing, seeing that persuasion isn't working, looks at Xing Aofei threateningly. You don't mind if someone else joins, right? Xing Aofei responds with a silent expression. In front of Shijin, Xi Minqing doesn't want to cause a scene, so he decides to settle things with Xing Aofei in the dorm later. Xing Aofei has survived in this dorm for 4 years, and he's a bit nostalgic now. Xi Minqing gets straight to the point. Kid, I like that girl. Give me her number. Xing Aofei smiles. Who do you think you are? Xi Minqing gets so angry he almost loses it. He orders 2 henchmen to enter. Jiazhen immediately tries to dissuade him. Boss, this guy is not easy to mess with. Xi Minqing shouts. We have 3 people, what's there to fear? Grab a quilt, so there won't be any visible injuries. The next second, Xing Aofei swiftly retaliates through the quilt, and the sound of shattered eggs fills the air. The quilt indeed proves useful, and Xi Minqing's face turns worse than if he had eaten feces. Afterward, Xing Aofei gives Jiazhen a look, and he's sent flying with a punch, clutching his lower body. It takes half an hour for Xi Minqing to recover. He takes out his phone and calls his uncle, the school's director. Xing Aofei, just wait. I'll make sure you have nowhere to be buried at the medical university. To get revenge on Xing Aofei, Xi Minqing decisively calls his uncle, the school director, because if the director steps in, Xing Aofei is as good as dead. Little does he know that Xing Aofei is already in trouble because during a martial arts match, he accidentally touched the girl. As she explodes with anger, her red inner power makes her look even more furious. But how could Xing Aofei, who has a system, just sit and wait for death. He doesn't hesitate to start a system upgrade. However, he doesn't know that there will be a 5-minute weakness period when the upgrade begins. Just as the girl raises her leg, Xing Aofei faints in an instant as the light shines on him. When he wakes up, it's already dark. Strangely enough, after the system upgrade, Xing Aofei's inner power becomes pure gold. As he raises his arm, preparing to release his power, the dorm supervisor comes over, following the light source. The director's revenge has already begun quietly. He is assigned to the haunted building 5, which has 6 floors, but no one dares to go to the first 5 floors. Xing Aofei, in his previous life, always wanted to explore but died before he could due to an accident. As soon as he enters the building, he sees the light from the neighboring dorm and plans to gather his courage to go in. But as soon as he steps in, he sees skulls all over the floor. Is this his neighbor's hobby? The next second, the skull's eyes flash red, and Xing Aofei, who believes in science, loses his cool. In the blink of an eye, dozens of centipedes emerge from the pile of skulls, approaching him step by step. Along with them come thousands of poisonous insects that quickly cover Xing Aofei's body. He barely manages to shake them off with his inner power. Insects aren't scary, but a swarm of them is. Hearing the noise outside, the neighbor girl, wrapped in a bath towel, rushes out of the bathroom. Are you okay? After the poisonous insects retreat, the girl explains. These little cuties are ancient bugs I raise. My name is Sun Hanyan, and I'm a witch doctor, also a specially appointed physician at the school. Although I don't teach, I only provide treatment for patients who need it. Xing Aofei thought traditional medicine was already far-fetched, but he didn't expect that witch doctors actually exist in the world. The ancient medical clan is mysterious and powerful, but not accepted by mainstream medicine. As for strength, witch doctors may not lose to other medical practices. Just then, a vase with Yang's instrument falls and breaks, landing right next to Xing Aofei, and it seems to intentionally enter his body. Sun Hanyan can't believe what she's seeing. This is bad. As Xing Aofei wonders why even the ancient bugs' bodies don't feel anything, Sun Hanyan shyly says, the Qin bug won't cause any harm, but whoever it affects will only fall in love with one person in their lifetime. This pair of bugs was prepared by the clan leader's grandmother for me and my future husband. Xing Aofei waves his hand. This is too exaggerated. I don't have any feelings for you right now. Sun Hanyan explains that it's because the other bug hasn't been rewarded yet. At this moment, in a village deep in the mountains, a 100-year-old man slowly opens his eyes. Hanyan has found her husband to be so early. Little Tian, go on a trip tomorrow and have Hanyan bring this young man back to the village for a visit. Meanwhile, in the dormitory building, Xing Aofei looks panicked. Maybe if I go to your village and explain, the clan leader's grandmother will help me remove the ancient bug. What Xing Aofei doesn't know is that such an approach is equivalent to slapping the clan leader's face. If he doesn't comply, he'll be thrown into the bug pit to be their food. But thinking about the consequences now won't help, so he has to rest early, as tomorrow is the first day of class. The teacher for this class is none other than the acupuncture master, Professor Lu Jinzhong, whose skills are extraordinary. But on Xing Aofei's first day of class, he unknowingly teaches the professor a lesson in acupuncture expertise. The professor enters the classroom without saying a word, opens the medicine box, and reveals silver needles. To show off his skills in front of the university students, he starts with a powerful display, performing acupuncture shadow play. The silver needles seem to have consciousness under the professor's guidance, and within 2 seconds, dozens of needles precisely pierce the exact points he wants. As the classmates cheer and admire the professor, Xing Aofei remains unimpressed. He comments that the technique has a resemblance to the rain butterfly needle method, but it lacks the essence. A classmate adds fuel to the fire, taunting the professor. What kind of nonsense is this? The rain butterfly needle method is just a weak imitation. The professor's face turns red, his blood pressure rises rapidly, and in an instant, he gives himself 2 acupuncture treatments to barely suppress his blood pressure. Xing Aofei didn't expect his casual comment to nearly kill the professor on the spot. he explains. Oh, Professor, I just said that off the top of my head. The professor persists, asking, how do you know the raindrop needle method? Xing Aofei doesn't want to fail the course, so he honestly admits. My father is the true inheritor of the rain butterfly method, and he taught me the needle technique before I started school. The next second, the professor changes his expression and apologizes to the class. 20 years ago, I had the fortune of witnessing the rain butterfly needle method, and I learned a little bit, just enough to get by. You, young man, have truly mastered the entire technique. Could you please demonstrate it? Before the professor could help, Xing Aofei begins to release his inner energy. No trouble, Professor, I'll borrow your silver needle on top of your head. The key to the rain butterfly needle method is the steam hole, and in an instant, blue light brushes over the needle. Due to the special steam wrapping, the steam released from the tail end of the silver needle forms the shape of a butterfly in the air, which is the origin of the rain butterfly needle method. Seeing this, Professor Lu's 20 years of repression finally erupts, and Xing Aofei's youth makes him incredibly promising. Professor Lu understands that this young man may be the future of traditional Chinese medicine. On the other hand, the dummy seems to have been infused with a soul after experiencing the rain butterfly needle method. Xing Aofei turns his head and humbly says, I'm just showing off in front of Professor Lu. Professor Lu laughs. No need to be humble. Having a master like you as a student is a great loss for traditional Chinese medicine. I must report this to the dean. He takes his medicine box and leaves hastily, leaving the students with one sentence. This class is self-study. As Xing Aofei looks confused, his phone receives a message from the student union. The new student orientation has begun. What surprises Ximenking the most about this year's new student orientation is that Xing Aofei will attend as a guest of honor. The moment Xing Aofei appears, Ximenking's legs tighten, recalling the shattering sound of the dummy. It's not until the dean announces the beginning of the new student orientation that Xing Aofei realizes this seat is for the special guest lecturer. The school director initially thought that the dean would accept his complaint, but to his surprise, not only did the dean not expel Xing Aofei, he even promoted him to a guest lecturer in the traditional Chinese medicine department. What on earth is going on? Seeing the shocked faces of the students, Professor Lu raises his hand to signal Xing Aofei not to panic. I recommended you to the dean. Our traditional Chinese medicine department won't let go of such a talent, will we? The dean also speaks seriously. Xing Aofei's qualifications have been verified by the school. I hope everyone can rest assured. The vice dean, Li, whispers, I know your traditional Chinese medicine department is short of talent, but don't just resort to desperate measures. From now on, patients who cannot be treated by traditional Chinese medicine can be sent to us in Western medicine. Professor Lu frowns. There's really no need for that, Vice Dean Li. The dean laughs. Treating patients and saving lives is our responsibility. Don't let your petty pride delay the treatment of patients. Xing Aofei suddenly stands up. Vice Dean Li is right, the patient's condition shouldn't be delayed. So if you come across patients who cannot be treated by Western medicine, please send them to our traditional Chinese medicine department. At this point, the dean's face darkens. Enough, all of you just be quiet. Vice Dean Li looks pitiful. I'm doing this for our school's reputation. Otherwise, people will think that anyone can come here and be a doctor. Xing Aofei responds casually. I never intended to be a lecturer. However, since Vice Dean Li constantly mocks traditional Chinese medicine, I can't stand it. Why not find a patient, and you and I can have a competition on the spot? I'm just afraid Vice Dean Li wouldn't dare. Xing Aofei's words instantly infuriate Vice Dean Li, who retorts. I was just thinking the same thing. I'd like to see how you handle this. He turns to a student. Xiaoqin, call my driver. Today, we in the Western Medicine Department will make an exception and teach a good lesson to the traditional Chinese Medicine Department. The driver has been suffering from back pain his entire life, all because he's been at the mercy of unscrupulous doctors for a whole decade. However, the Western Medicine Dean claims he can cure the driver within a month. It's a showdown between Western and traditional Chinese medicine. Representing traditional Chinese medicine, Xing Aofei merely touches the man's spine with his finger, and the entire shape of the spine appears in his mind. It's clear that the spine is severely misaligned, and the Northern School's rain butterfly acupuncture technique won't be enough to cure it completely. Facing the mockery of Western medicine, Xing Aofei confidently asks, "Did you just say you need a month to fully heal him?" The Western medicine Weisstein smirks, expecting a good show. "That's right. How long do you, the representative of traditional Chinese medicine, need?" Xing Aofei replies without hesitation. "Hell, with just a little effort from me, he'll be able to walk right away." The Western medicine Weisstein scoffs. "Alright, let's see your performance." Xing Aofei takes a deep breath. If this were 3 days ago, he wouldn't be so sure, but now his inner strength is among the best in China. As Xing Aofei releases his inner power and focuses on the spine, all 3 top doctors present are astonished. Accompanied by a cracking sound from the spine, the sweaty driver lets out a sigh of relief unlike any before. Adjusting the severely misaligned spine inevitably causes some pain. With the awe and admiration of his classmates, Xing Aofei uses the Southern School's golden pinching technique to reposition the spine and clear the driver's meridians. In the next second, 4 silver needles in the medical kit are drawn by his inner power, followed by the rain butterfly acupuncture technique. As the silver needles float in the air, wrapped in golden inner power, countless golden threads seem to appear out of thin air and connect with 7 acupuncture points. The 7 silver needles instantly stabilize the cleared meridians. Next, Xing Aofei flicks a needle lightly with his index finger, and with the penetration of his inner power, a red flush explodes on the driver's back. The driver experiences both pain and pleasure as his blood and energy flow throughout his body. The treatment concludes with Xing Aofei's heavy breath. The once half-paralyzed driver feels no more pain in his waist, no soreness in his legs, and is completely relaxed and invigorated. The dean rushes forward to praise the Southern School's golden pinching technique and the Northern School's rain butterfly technique, saying that Xing Aofei is truly a force to be reckoned with. The Vice Dean, unable to bear Xing Aofei's success, is furious and heartbroken. He approaches the driver and asks, "Old Lu, are you really okay?" Old Lu, with a flushed face and feeling lighter, replies that he feels much better. However, the Vice Dean suddenly orders, "You're not okay, understand? Remember, I can give you a job and take it away." To protect his livelihood, the driver lies, "I still feel a terrible pain in my waist." The Vice Dean, deceiving himself, says, "See? The patient isn't cured." Doesn't this prove Xing Aofei's medical skills aren't suitable for a guest lecturer? The dean sees through the lie but says nothing. Let's go. The new student meeting is over. In the meeting room, everyone takes a seat, and Xing Aofei is the first to speak. "Vice Dean Li, are you sure the patient's illness wasn't caused by your scare tactics?" The Vice Dean stubbornly retorts, "Who do you think you are speaking here? The driver has always been my patient, and I know his condition best." Xing Aofei ignores him and addresses the driver. "You know how effective my medical skills are. I don't know what he said to you, but there will only be more victims like you in the future." The Vice Dean angrily slams the table and stands up. "Xing Aofei, get out of here before I lose my temper!" But the next second, a twist occurs. The driver slaps the Vice Dean. "Screw your job and your Vice Deanship. You treat me like a dog every day. I've received great kindness, and I'll never close my eyes in peace in this life." The Vice Dean is stunned, but facing Xing Aofei's condemnation, he brings up the traditional Chinese medicine department. "Let's not talk about this illness, but does the traditional Chinese medicine department even have a reason to exist in the school? Xing Aofei, what do you think medicine is? Is it some secret technique passed down by quacks like you? Can you guarantee that all doctors in the world can learn your moves? I admit your secret technique is powerful, but compared to the funding for traditional Chinese medicine and Western medicine, which is more valuable?" Xing Aofei remains calm. "Don't use moral kidnapping. You can only blame yourself for looking down on everyone and lifting a rock to smash your own foot. Whether traditional Chinese medicine can succeed isn't for you alone to decide, But I, Xing Aofei, won this competition.